All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. It's been a while since I've covered this sector. Tech was very much the focus, but let's take a look at what's going on. And really, there's a lot of bad going on, right? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I still do think Trump will be good for this sector, all right? I don't care what your political thoughts are. We're not here to talk about the pros and cons of him. I even said if Kamala was going to win, I thought both of them would be good for the sector. The issue was, and it really still is, twofold, right? The Florida vote was no, and really, there's going to be a lot of initial and immediate presidential priorities before this sector is the top of the list, right? So end of the day, the technicals are doing a lot, and really a lot of the theme going on is losing death lines, right? I love breaking a golden line and going up, up, up. When you lose a death line, it is the black hole vortex. You lose 20%, then 20%, then 20% until some sort of something saves it. Otherwise, the lines do the rest, right? And you can see TLRY is under it already. MSOS is under it already. CGC is on it. I heard some people talking about CGC being at the bottom. I'm worried it's just getting into the top and ready to go deeper down like those other ones did into the all-time low hole, right? So SNDL is doing a little bit better. It's definitely under all the moving averages, and you know I don't like that, but that's a scary channel coming up where I get excited about money channels that should go quick. This same red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 and just nothing, that could be a scary fall down. So it's definitely doing better, but there is some worry, and you saw the next line down is that death line, right? High tide continues to be the bullish outlier. High tide is still over a number of moving averages. It's actually still over the 50. It's testing it, right? It's still over our golden line. And there's actually a couple support lines still below that, right? So this is still the bullish outlier. The concern becomes the lower indicators down here, right? The last thing before we get into the details, look, the Dow Jones has been tough. Okay, the Dow Jones, let's actually even take a step back. Since the election, right? Since the November 5th, 6th results, whatever you want to call it, Dow Jones did very well until the beginning of the December, right? High tide matched it. It did. Not perfectly, but it did, right? Tilray and the rest, not so much, right? So when the Dow Jones was good and the sector was bad, that was worrisome. When the Dow Jones started to tank, that was only going to start to amplify the losses that we started to see, right? So you actually saw it even with high tide. High tide actually did mimic the up and the down roughly in around the same points. But hey, again, I think that's another sign that this one might be the bullish outlier still of the group, all right? So before we do go any further, though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So let's get into this first bunch. And look, I think there's a couple baseline rules that I sincerely live by. All right. A baseline one is good things happen over all the moving averages, let alone over the 8 and the 20, and bad things happen under. You break all 5 and you fly, you lose all 5 and you die. All right. And man, what is a best friend for a stock can quickly become the worst enemy, and that is the 8 moving average. What goes from this, we bounce, we bounce, we bounce, we bounce, we bounce, up, 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 we bounce, we bounce, we bounce, we bounce, up, up, up. All of a sudden, we struggle, we struggle, we struggle, we struggle, we struggle as we work our way down. And again, when you lose a death line, you're going to lose 20%, then you're going to lose the next 20%, and so on and so on. That's the opposite of a golden line, right? You break the golden line, you're going to gain 20, then you're going to gain 20, then you're going to gain 20, and so on, right? So the market, in my opinion, is way too hot to really be looking at something under all the moving averages right now, okay? And look, you can see the math, right? Every 10% is about 15 cents. Every 20%, every 20% is 30%. Is 30 cents. We are under that already. We've already lost that first, and it just seems like this is still losing the battle with the 8 moving average, right? There is no educated line I can draw down here. There's no reason for me to believe that 114 or whatever's below it is going to save it. At this point, I needed to get over both the 8 and the 20, because we've seen the attempts but lack of confirmations. We've seen the bad fake outs in the wicks that just end up coming down here. I think it needs to prove a lot at this point and get over both moving averages. Same exact thoughts on TLRY are exactly the same on MSOS. MSOS was deathline basically 5. Every dollar is 20%. We've lost more than the dollar, right? We are under $3.90 already. It seems like we're still losing the battle to the 8 moving average. As you look at the weekly charts, I'm still seeing a bad divergence on MSOS. I'm still seeing a bad divergence on TLRY. I realize both the numbers are in the low teens, but this sector has been very low single digits before. It hasn't in a good while, but hey, when you go down under the death line, man, what I don't know if you were watching my quant videos and my tech videos in general, right? I was so excited, and I was throwing away rules on the upside. What normally was a high RSI that scared me, I kept saying it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. Right now, being under the death line with a bad Dow Jones, I really have to ignore the same things. What's normally a really low 14, it normally should not even be down here, let alone me really expecting it to go lower. Right now, I'm not sure. I think it might go as low as 8 in the next week or two if I had to guess. You know what I mean? Dow Jones is doing worse than S&P and NASDAQ, and that is the consequences here, right? Let me finish with MSOS. I know I jumped back here, but look, when you look at MSOS, the other ones like the topper. Wow, that was sad. The main holdings aren't doing much. Like, let's look at Leave right here. This thing went from the best in the bunch, from actually breaking them all and flying and actually staying over them and flying, to just down, and just like MSOS, right? When we look at CURLF, right? This thing was losing them all. This thing never regained. This thing is right back down under all the moving averages, right? What's the next one? Cresco. When we look at Cresco Labs, again, you see the same thing. All of them are under all 5 moving averages. All of them are under the 8 and the 20. I don't really have the death lines on these other ones. I look more at MSOS than these individual ones and all for like videos, right? Cresco. Did we look at Cresco Labs? I don't remember. I don't think so. Cresco Labs, same thing right here. Green Thumb was another one I know someone said I should look at more. I don't know if you're one word or you're 2 word. Green. Wow, that's some bad spelling. TH. There you go. Green Thumb. Again, same story, right? They were all under all the moving averages. They are all, if I had to guess, close to, no, this one's really far from all-time lows. That's a good thing at least. But yeah, MSOS, when you are an ETF of all of them and all of them are under all the moving averages, all this thing's going to do is go under them as well, right? So it's tough to see those, and end of the day, I have to assume the sector is going to follow. And I have to assume that CGC being at the line doesn't mean it's at the bottom. It, to me, feels like it's going lower. And again, I really didn't know this RSI was 10. I just said that 14 was really low. I know that this 10 is really low, but even look at this right here. That's a 4.61 RSI only a couple months ago. This is in September 20. This is very, very recent. CGC knows how to go to single digit RSIs, and man, that's a scary thing to see. Again, here's another one. Still in this same year, a 4 down here, right? The day after was a 4. Wait, yeah. Day after was a 4 as well, right there, right? So you can see 2 days in a row was a 4 as I'm moving side to side on that RSI box, right? And again, even June wasn't that long ago from now. So CGC to me doesn't say bottom. It says, oh man, I think I'm about to follow TLRY. I'm about to follow MSOS, and that black hole vortex is gonna eat the money. You know what I mean? Listen, Powell scared the market. Powell scared the market. I really, really was expecting Powell to save the Dow Jones. What was a big red candle in reality, I thought he was going to lower the rates and give us good guidance. Big green candle above those and hopefully fly just like the NASDAQ was. Instead, we got this. It brought down the S&P 500 as well. And it really did slow down and ultimately bring down the all-time high run on NASDAQ, right? So there's some scary things going on. Listen, I'm not here saying crash. I'm not here saying, fear this and that. But yeah, things are a little shaky right now, and it's important to be scared. I am scared of touching a hot pot. I don't want to burn my fingers, right? When the pot is cool again, I'll touch it. That's what all that's going on right now, right? So things are a little scary. I am scared of touching a hot pot. Once the Dow Jones recovers, and it will for sure recover, all right? That's when we're going to go back on the attack here. Listen, I know that some political headline, some big Trump tweet or Truth Social post. I know this sector has the power to I'm going to use the word magically, and I say that with love, right? This thing has the power to magically jump on some good news, okay? That's too unpredictable to believe, and realistically, if it's going to sustain, I don't need to catch the first one. I can catch the next day and so on, right? So my fears far outweigh my excitement. I still, and I said in the beginning, I'm going to say it at the end of this chapter right here, Trump will be good for the sector. Trump will deregulate things other places first, then probably here. And that probably, I really would have said the exact same thing if Kamala won. I think they both, I don't think either is wildly negative. I think both have said very positive things, and I think Trump has been even louder about a deregulation love, right? And that's what this sector is. There's so much red tape, there's so much regulation. If even just a layer or two, let alone a big rip of it comes off, that's where things can really go, right? But yeah, these three are definitely scaring me a good amount right here, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at high tide next really quick, all right? So high tide is relatively doing better, all right? And if you watch some of, I made a video not that long ago that was a little more longer term. I'll flash a couple, I'll flash more than the daily and the weekly on this thing, okay? I will say this, and obviously this is a non-tech video, but I've been saying on my NASDAQ stuff, on my tech videos, listen, we're gonna come down, all right? You can just look at it and you can see it. Obviously, I have no crystal ball and I might be completely wrong. This thing's gonna come down, okay? As long as we hold the golden line, as long as we bounce, hopefully here and not even have to come this low. But hey, even if we come this low, as long as we hold the golden line, that's a good thing, right? You just got to be patient on the side, wait a little bit, be a little realistic, and then attack when the conditions are right. I think that's the exact same comment on high tide. Okay, we're obviously a lot closer to the 50 moving average than I want to be, right? We still technically haven't lost it yet. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, I need water. Cottonmouth. Give me a second. Sorry. Oh, excuse me there. Sorry about that. So again, like I said, with NASDAQ, there's still a little bit of space for me to say maybe, oops, not CCU. That's a little bit low volume. CCU looks interesting, actually. Let's zoom out really quickly. CCU. No, that's a little too high. Yeah, I'll set a 12 buck alert. An alert is not an immediate buy note. Yeah, I'm okay at 6. It's not an immediate buy notification, but hey, sometimes pudgy fingers do a good thing. So look, NASDAQ has a little bit more support space, but before the golden line, right? I think it's more realistic there. High tide, we're definitely at the line, and then there's a pretty hard fall down. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna draw this line. That's not a bad line right there. It's the bottom of that. It's the top of that. And roughly speaking, it's the halfway point. I'm gonna delete this line. I don't think I should draw it, but look, 270 USD, obviously. $2.70 hopefully will be a strong place that holds it. I would love to not lose the 50 moving average, basically $2.90, right? $2.88 if you're looking at it to the penny. I think that's a little hard to believe, just kind of given these lower indicators. That's a scary divergence on both, really. And hey, that 37 is actually still a relatively high number. It could still come into the 30s. Wasn't that long ago, actually, that high tide got into the single digits as well. I just said the same thing about CGC, right? So I think it's a little hard to think that that's going to hold. Hopefully that 270 holds. I really want to stay over 250. I really don't want to lose the golden line. It actually kind of looks like the 100 might eventually golden cross it, and hey, that just looks like a good little support point with a good manual line and these two moving averages, right? I'm going to skip the weekly, but oh no, I shouldn't, because I know we talked about the weekly a lot. Listen, I know I put a post on Twitter, probably on Stock Twits too. Someone really liked my doji comment. They said that they'd missed it. Look, I am not a pattern dude, right? I barely care about candles. I don't know the names of them. When you see a doji on an important line, especially a computer generated moving average, if you're looking at VWAP on a VWAP line or a Bollinger Band, whatever it might be, right? When you get a doji on an important technical line, especially the 200, biggest, baddest, scariest of all the lines I got here, right? That's a big candle, and you're either going to get a big green up or that red down that we did see here, all right? I like that we at least tried, right? First time we've really been over it since very early in 2022. You got to try before you do, right? So hey, that's not bad. But again, look, it seems like the weekly saying I might be losing the 8. Hopefully we don't lose the 20. Lo and behold, that's our golden line, right? So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more than I normally do. This is an important monthly chart, okay? And if you remember, I was saying we want to get around 340 USD, okay? Because that same monthly target, oh, was it not the quarter? Was it not the yearly? Was it the quarterly? Yeah, it was. That's that 315 line, right? Arguably, you can say it's the 315 line. It's an important quarterly chart resistance, right? It's the 20, and it's an important monthly chart resistance. It's the 50. Right? And again, it's really funny to me that there's a lot of long high tide people that watch a short-term swing trader video, like mine, but I love it. And I'm here to adjust to my view. You are all the bosses, not me. You're all the sirs and the madams, not me, all right? But this is a very important 315 line. And again, that's why I said let's just call it a little higher. Let's call it 340 USD maybe, right? I think if we can break that, you're going to start to make me believe that the next 3 months out are going to be good. And when we looked at the yearly chart, all right, so look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're still 2 years away before the 8 moving average on the yearly is generated, right? I need 8 candles to get the math, to get the average of those 8 to generate the dot before it becomes even a line on the next one, right? But there's some good yearly chart things happening here. There is a nice steady increase of volume right there. The yearly chart line is actually down here at 3 flat. 3 flat, look at that. It's literally, you can see the green line up top is 3, And I imagine the green line, no, not the green one, the open is 3 as well right here. 3 will get you over that top and bottom line. I still like this 315 a lot. And man, girls out there, if this can close at 330, 340, I'll probably even take that 321, okay, USD for high tide. My expectations for next year become very, very exciting, okay? That's what we're looking for. Again, if I had to guess, all right, we're a couple weeks away, right? I don't know what any of this is. You can all ignore that. We're a couple weeks away from the year end, right? That's going to close that monthly, that's going to close that quarterly, that's going to close that yearly. It has me a little worried that we can do it, right? A lot has to happen. But that's what we're looking for, okay? Let's say, and I'm guessing here, all right? Let's say we close down here. Let's say we close at like 260, still over the golden line, right? What would that look for us on the monthly? Where's 260? Hey, you're still over the 8 moving average. And again, I think it goes back to what I just said. We at least tried. First time we've ever tried when this line got generated. As long as we can hold that 8, as long as we can stay over the golden line, hey, maybe the month after we'll be able to make a good little bounce and go, right? So I am still okay. I am very, very worried if we go below that line, because then all of a sudden we're now back below the 8 moving average, and now all of a sudden I got to worry about going back down to $2. I don't want to do that, right? So I'm okay going as low as 250 USD on that monthly. Does the quarterly say same thing? Yeah, quarterly does say same thing, all right? It does. This is a big candle. I don't want to give up too much, you know? Even if we come down here, it would be okay even if we come down here, because at least we'll still be bigger than 50% candle over here. We cannot close below $2.40. I would love to stay over 250. I'm okay at 241 last day of the year USD. Obviously, I would love 320. That's my up and down target right there. Let me know if you had any questions in the comments. You know I'll do my best to answer it. Hey, this went a little longer than I thought, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree, I appreciate you so, so much.